Was this a mistake? Like, is this being done for, like, the wrong reasons? And now it'll ruin some future time when it would have been done for the right reason? It just feels really weird to me now. All that's gone on since the announcement. I, like a lot of Oasis fans, were excited to hear that they got back together again. When they announced it, it was cool seeing those pictures. And my sister got tickets for Scotland. I sent her a text the other day or was it today when the American... I had the American dates from, whenever they went on sale. And I texted her about them. And she's like, yeah, I'm still going to Scotland. And sent me a gif of William Wallace. So yeah, everybody was kind of psyched. Of course, like this had been a long time in coming. And prior to it, there was the speculation was, if the time was ever going to be right, it would be now, because Noel had just gotten a divorce. And I guess one of the points of contention was in the relationship between his wife and Liam was pretty contentious. So as long as they were together, it wasn't going to be a reunion. But now when she's out of the picture, people figured, oh, now it's the perfect time. And I think that's exactly what happened, but not for the reason everyone thinks. And I'll be right back. Just gonna pop in the store here. I think, like many fans, when this announcement came, especially if you look at the way Williams talked about it for years, he was always saying, like, he didn't really want to be a solo artist. He just, it kind of ended up that way. And he kept saying, I'm only going to make 3 albums, and then we're going to go back to the big O. And, always talking about how eventually they would get back together. And I think the feeling was like, it wasn't just going to be a reunion shows, one tour, and that was it. Like, they were reuniting. They were getting back together for good. And all that entails, hopefully, new music and all this other thing. But since they fucking dropped that announcement, it really hasn't followed the kind of way a giant rock band reunion usually does. Like, no press conference of them sitting there, no announcement of who's in the band, just nothing, just complete radio silence. I mean, Liam's still fucking around on Twitter, but he always does that. But he's not being very specific, and he's still remaining as cryptic as he was before the fucking announcement happened. No Gallagher, okay? You type his fucking name in YouTube, right? You will see him on everything. The fucking Hot Wings show, fucking Pimp My Ride, fucking what? He's on every fucking program there is. Consistently. Radio 1, every BBC thing. He does a podcast, all the shit, He'll show up at like a high school CCTV television program and talk to somebody. You can't shut him up. And ever since this announcement happened, he's been hiding. I've never seen him be this quiet this long since I've been a fan of the band in the 90s. It's pretty, it's beyond weird. It's like he's hiding. Like he's hiding. Why? Does he not want to talk to people about it? And the fact that there should have been some kind of interview with them or press conference. If he was really excited about it, he'd be talking about it. They'd both be talking about it. There would be something. Bonehead has kind of cryptically made a tweet about maybe he's in the band as well, but we don't know, because no one's saying anything. And like I said, Liam's still talking, but he's not talking about the fucking reunion at all. And then Liam's performance at the boxing match. I don't know why he did that. Like, why he even did that appearance. Like, once you dropped that they were getting back together, and he always claimed he would stop being a solo artist. He didn't want to be a solo artist. Doesn't like being a solo. He's only doing it because there's no Oasis, you know? So they make the announcement they're back together, and then he's doing a solo fucking appearance. Fuck's that all about? Like, did he need to do that? Was it something that he had contracted maybe a long time ago? Maybe it was something like that. As far as his performance, when I watched it, if there hadn't been this crazy outcry about his performance, I wouldn't have thought twice about it. And people have such short memories. There was a time, okay, just to take it a little bit back, when Oasis first broke up, and people really weren't happy with Liam. He had a real bad reputation, you know, generally. People, whether right or wrong, people always, he's an asshole, blah, blah, blah. And Noel was coming out to be the good one. You know, his music did well. His post-Oasis music was doing well. He out of the gate, #1 album. Liam struggled. BBI was kind of a flop. And he was just kind of looked at a certain way. Like, not favorably. Then when he had his comeback, when he put out his first solo album, like 2017, everybody loved him again. He was back in everybody's good graces. Released 3 big solo albums. Like, did everybody forget fucking Nebworth last year? Like, when he sold out those 2 nights at Nebworth, people were on his side again. And now, like, out of nowhere, it seems like everybody's mad at him again, or everybody doesn't like him again. After that performance, it's like, oh, he lost his voice, he can't sing like he used to. It's like, have you been following or paying attention? He's been sounding great. Since he got the solo career going, he's been sounding excellent. He got it back. He's got his voice back. There's videos on YouTube that go through the timeline of how he kind of lost his voice and how he kind of got it back. And like, everybody loved him, it felt like, until this announcement happened. And then on top of that, hey, what's up, man? And then on top of that, this performance happened. And now all of a sudden, it's like everybody fucking hates Liam again. What the fuck is that? Now, watching the performance, I wouldn't have thought twice about it. Look, he's a combination of John Lydon and John Lennon. Sometimes you get a little bit more Lydon, sometimes you get a little bit more sweet Lennon. This was sort of a John Lydon type performance. Yeah, he was a little shouty, but you know, he tends to be that way. I wouldn't have thought anything of it. I don't think it was great. You know, I don't think he sounded his best, but I wouldn't have thought twice, you know, about it. You know, because we've seen him do shows like that. And it's not because he lost his voice. He's had his voice. His voice is fucking fine. I think what happened here, because it was like a fucking boxing match, it wasn't set up to be a rock show. The important thing was the fight. His appearance was just like a side thing of this. So everything wasn't geared toward a musical performance, you know? I think he couldn't hear himself. That's what it sounded like to me, because there's some points where not only was he like kind of yelling, kind of shouting, but it felt like he was a little bit behind and sometimes a little bit in front of the beat. It just really felt like he didn't have good monitors. I couldn't hear himself. Which is possible to happen like that because it was just an appearance at a sporting event. Either way, people lost their minds about this, you know? And they're talking about, well, we want refunds and this and that. And he kind of told everybody to fuck off on Twitter, which is typical Liam, right? But everybody got mad about that too. I think one of the things that's happening here is their announcement got a lot of people who hadn't really been following them to think about them again for the first time in a long time. And they don't know that, you know, Liam's kind of been like that. That's the way he is. And we have a very, the way society is now, you can't be offensive in any way. If anyone at any time is offended in any way that's bad, it's all bad. Oasis isn't like that. Liam's not like that. He's going to say what he feels. So I think a lot of the outrage is coming from people who weren't paying attention prior to this and are more just, you know, normies, right? Like that article that came out, and what paper was that? With that really weird Batman villain looking guy did this thing about how they're toxically masculine and they tried to tie them to conservatism, all this stupid stuff. Even though they're you know, were champions of the working class for a long time, whatever. But the whole point is that there are people that see them as being politically incorrect, because they certainly are. And those people really weren't paying attention that closely until they started getting all this media attention because of their tour. So I think a lot of those loud voices complaining about him, the performance, the Oasis in general, how they're bad for society or whatever, that's coming from people who are just taking note of them being around for the first time since 1997, you know? Like, oh, Oasis, they're fucking... Seems like I'm freaking out over here. The thing is just weird. Yeah, I probably can't talk about it right now because I'm trying to do an Oasis video. But yeah, you can't tell sometimes with guys now. It's like, usually I'd like go right over and try to figure out if it's a demon thing. But some people, some groups are just like that. They do that. So it's like, oh, he's just a regular one of those guys. So, you know, because certain people want attention. You know, they thrive off attention. Be right back. So yeah, him getting a divorce did open up those channels for them to get back together. But unfortunately, not in like a good way. What it is he just needed money. Because, and everyone, not everyone, but some people might think, well, why does he need more money? It's like, well, he doesn't need the money. Because when you have a certain amount of money, you know, you have a certain lifestyle that you're accustomed to. Maybe he has a house in Ibiza, and he's got one over here, and he's got this, he doesn't drive, but he still has cars for whatever reason, but he has things he needs. His kids have things that they need. You know, he's part of certain groups or maybe social clubs or something. He has a lifestyle that costs a certain amount of money for him to maintain. Every month or every year, however you want to look at it. So when you lose... Oh, Tang struck again. They do this. They go back and forth with the neighborhood. They spray paint their bad spelled words, and then the town comes and tries to clean it up. They go back and forth with that. Again, a new problem that we never had here before, so whatever. The yeah, so he's when you take half of that away, you got to make the money up somehow. And it was like right after that, you know, right after we got news of that divorce, it like came right after. It's almost like he immediately picked up the phone and said, all right, we have to do this. Now, I didn't want to think that that was true. There's been a lot of stuff on the internet from people, whether it's on message boards or on YouTube, talking about how there's always someone that knows someone that, and I've heard, you know, the talk about he's absolutely doing it just for the money. You know, someone always knows someone that knows someone that's close to the to their circles, and he's absolutely just doing it for money. And at first I was like, yeah, you know, whatever, you know. But as time goes on, and I'm seeing how this is playing out, it seems like that's all he's doing it for. Because I guess that when they did those photos, that was the only time they've seen each other. And he's not talking about it. And when Liam kind of bombed the other night, you know, not in my perspective, but for the general consensus, he didn't come to back him up at all. In fact, he left him flailing out there because Liam snapped back at people, and Noel just don't say anything. Back in the day, if you criticized Liam, Noel would have came at you, you know. So it's showing me that there's still a rift there. They're not together. They're not a team again. They're not a group again. And it's just about him and this fucking paying off this divorce. That's all this is. Because like I said earlier, that guy, Noel, can't keep his mouth shut. He'll go on public access television to talk about something. You know, he'll anything. He's always on something. And like, now he's hiding after the biggest like news of his life, I guess, maybe come out. Yeah, it would be, right? The reunion of this big thing. I mean, and he's hiding? And then this thing happened with Liam, and he's still hiding? I'm not even going to get into the way they're fucking screwing people over with the tickets. Oasis was saying, oh, it's Ticketmaster. And Ticketmaster was like, no, it's them. The artist always has to say. So somebody's lying, and seeing that this is a cash grab and just about money, I think the Oasis did know. And this also leads me to thinking, I'm hoping I'm wrong about all this. This is a vibe I'm getting by watching all the stuff that's been following the announcement. That it's not going to be a reunification. It's just going to be about that one tour. You know, doing this tour, and that's it. I fucking hate dick music. It's all dick music, isn't it though? Because it's just about dicks. It's all about dicks. Again, like the graffiti, something we didn't have to deal with before, prior to COVID. Not going to complain. Nothing you do. It's a military operation. Whatever. But, yeah, so as time goes on, I'm just starting to, like, think this is more like a mistake. A mistake. Because if they're just doing it to pay off Noel's divorce, and there's every indication, it seems like there is, then don't bother doing it. And maybe Liam's fucking phoned in performance maybe has something to do with Noel's attitude. Because I'm sure Liam would want a united front. He wanted to be part of that band again. He wasn't the one that quit. He would love to have, I'm pretty sure, I don't fucking know the guy, but I get the idea that he would love to have like his gang back, his relationship with his brother. He'd love to sit in front of journalists and let them know what's up. But I'm getting the impression that maybe Noel's being kind of cold to him, maybe quick with him, maybe I just need the money, mate. And Liam is starting to sink in with him now that this is just to pay for his divorce, and maybe he's getting fucking, you know, down about it. And he's just kind of getting angry about it, because I would too. You know, it seems like just a big fucking, I don't know. Like Liam's got blue balls over this. There is nothing that's happened since they've dropped the dates, since they announced the return, that would lead me to believe this is anything that they want to do. Maybe Liam wanted to do it, because he always wanted to do it. And Noel's just like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it. I just need to do it for this. And we're just going to do this, fuck you, you know, whatever. you know, not talking to him, not meeting with him. Like, it's like, what the... I don't know. I mean, I know Noel's, like, kind of an asshole with that stuff, and he's kind of upfront. Like, he'll tell you when he's doing something just for the money. He talks about that all the time. And I think that maybe the reason he's hiding is because he just can't... Maybe he feels too guilty about sitting in an interview and telling the fans that this is just to pay for my fucking divorce. Just, that's all it is. That's all it is. In my opinion, anyway. And there's going to be... they're going to do these dates. They're going to collect the money. They're going to make it... He's going to make as much money as he can from this. And settle the divorce. And then he's going to be back to his fucking low-charting turds. And fucking, you know, sending his mixed messages. Like, oh, Oasis was great. But it couldn't happen now. I wouldn't want to do it now. Oh, it was a good time. But, oh, you know, I like what I'm doing better now because now I can do this. It's just, he like backhanded compliments the whole thing all the time. I don't know. I could be wrong, and maybe they're waiting to do some kind. No, that doesn't make sense. That's cope. That's fucking cope. To say maybe they're gonna come out later down the road and like fucking and launch it for real, and they're gonna be friends and sit together, and you know, like, don't do it. Don't do it. The only reason they're doing it now, until I see some other proof otherwise, he just needs to pay that bill. Then everything's going to go back to how it was. And that sucks. It's not cool. So yeah, this whole thing is a sham. It's a fucking sham. It's too bad. You know, when they first announced it, I'm like, oh, yeah, fine. Like, all Oasis bands. They're like, wow, they finally put their shit aside. They got the band back. There's going to be, you know, who else is going to be in the group? But who cares? It'll probably be his high-flying birds in the band. Just lean them off to the side, shouting. And, yeah, I don't know. These shows are not going to be good. Based on what we've seen about this fucking thing, that it is just a cash grab. And I'm pretty convinced of this. So it's fucking, you know, it's terrible. Too bad. Well, we still have the albums. I wouldn't have seen them anyway. I mean, I'm in Hawaii. Nobody comes over here. With good reason too. Jesus. Fucking, I'd tell anybody, don't come here. There's nothing here but like a lot of crime now. And the dirty beach. This place is real dirty, by the way, too. It's like, Hawaii's fucking filthy. You know. It looks good on TV, though. And that's what draws people in. When they get here, and it's like, what the fuck? 30 grand for this? Should work for the tourism board. Anyway, enough of that depressing Oasis news. Thanks for popping in. Someday I'm gonna have something uplifting for you. Well, maybe not. I'm not gonna lie to you like fucking Noel Gallagher does. Till next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.